Hi there everybody and welcome to the Point Blank online virtual open day. My name is Luke.
And I'm John.
Thanks for joining us, John. Actually, in fact, that music you were listening to at the very beginning there was some of your tunes, right?
Yeah, coming out on Spotify when I get round to finishing it.
Very
Thanks
nice.
for letting me air it.
So a little sneak preview of a demo of one of your tracks.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for joining us, John. And thank you to everyone watching live online for joining us as well. We've got a great open day in store for you. Today's really an opportunity for you to find out about Point Blank's courses and see if this is where you might want to come and study. So it's going to be an opportunity to find out about how the courses work. We've also got John, who's going to be delivering a bit of a masterclass for us later on. Plus, we're going to find out a bit more about you and the music that you make and your career and everything you've been involved with.
True.
So looking forward to that. We'll also be answering your questions live in our Q&A at the end of today's open day. So if you do have any questions for us about the course, about Point Blank, about anything, then get those in the chat room. My colleague John is manning our chat room today. Another John, I should add as well. We'll be answering those questions, John and myself, a little later on. One of the great things about studying with us online as well is that you can study from absolutely anywhere in the world. So do let us know where you might be logging in from. Just pop in your location in the chat room. We'll give you a little shout out later on. First of all, I wanted to share with you a quick video about what it means to be a Point Blank student and what you can expect the experience of being a Point Blank student to be like. So take a look at this video and then we'll reconvene very shortly.
If you're already a DJ or producer, if you work a 9-to-5 job, if you're a student elsewhere, taking an online course allows you to improve your production skills in your own time. You choose when you want to do it. I can get in from a gig at 6, 7 in the morning. I can wake up when I want and get on with the course, surrounded by the comforts of my own home. Every week, a new element of the course is introduced. There's an extensive lesson, and then you're left with a whole sort of library of sounds, project files, tracks for you to just experiment with.
So an example of one of the lessons might be talking about how to arrange a tune. So we might take a very well-known track and break it down, use it as a template, and then we would make a video on how you could apply that template to your own tune. There'd be some audio examples, an arrangement that was listed, and then there'd be a series of videos which are tutorials.
They're kind of cutting edge, up to the minute techniques covered in short, informative tutorial videos that everybody can understand.
And then there would often be a downloadable project as well, so you can then go and try it out for yourself, which is a really brilliant feature.
By the time the masterclass comes, there's your chance to iron out stuff you might be stuck on.
The masterclass is a weekly live session, which you simply log on to the Point Blank online site, go to your course, click on the chat room window, and what you'll see is a text field where you can input questions for your tutor. You'll also see a video screen which will carry the tutor's computer screen. You'll be able to see everything that they're doing. They'll be demonstrating for you music production techniques based on that week's course content, and also you'll be able to see your tutor speaking to you live in real time. So you can get instant feedback, instant one-to-one answers to your questions.
I'm going to load a snare sound into the simpler device and essentially use resonators to create a musical tone out of a snare sound.
Every 2 weeks, you will receive a one-to-one video tutorial. The session is recorded as a high-quality video for you to keep. To have that kind of interactivity and to have someone feeding back on your work is just gold dust, you know. And I think this kind of steel can sound is brilliant. I mean, that's a real kind of hook of the track, this. Maybe let's just try recording something in. The response that the tutor gives is completely tailored to the student's style of music or the level that they're at as well. So it might be nice to spice up this drum track by adding a delay, and you can see I've put one here in the return of the drum rack, and if we just apply that to the clap now, you see it has a really nice effect.
This one-on-one time can happen anywhere because it's online, but I can be on the move, I can be at my parents' house.
I've had students in Australia, Japan, America, anywhere in Europe, you know, really you can be anywhere.
The ability varies hugely, everyone's on different levels.
Part of the skill of the tutors is to adapt to those different levels of ability. There are some students who really are quite advanced.
A little while back, I taught Claude Von Stroke on the dubstep course, which I wrote.
It was really great. I learned tons of stuff.
Very established producer, but he was open and wanted to learn new things in a new genre.
There are other students who really do come in at a basic level, and it's amazing to see how well they progress actually.
You could be a house producer or you could be a gabba producer, it doesn't matter. You create relationships with people, there's a chance for collaborations with other producers.
I've had quite a few instances where after the courses have finished, students have hit me up saying that they hooked up while they were on the course and they've finished a track and they've sent it to me via SoundCloud or something, and that's great. I love seeing that.
This is an opportunity to get involved, you know, with other people who just want to do exactly the same thing as you.
If you want to find out more, make sure you check out pointblankmusicschool.com.
Nice one. So there you have it. Hopefully that's given you a bit more of an insight into what being a Point Blank student's all about. And we're going to be going to a lot more information and detail about the courses and how they function over the course of today's open day. Whilst we were watching that quick clip, John has been speaking with you in the chat room, and it's great to see so many of you logging in from all around the world. So we've got some people from the United Kingdom, so shout out to Messi Gergs and to Johnny. But we also have Brian Liang in Singapore, there's Ollie in Switzerland, we've got George or Georgios in Cyprus, someone in Georgia, welcome. We've got someone all the way down in South Africa, thanks for joining us today. As you can see, it's a very international campus that we have here online, allowing students to join us from anywhere in the world. Next up, I wanted to let you know a little bit about us as a school, how we started and how it all began for Point Blank. We've been around now for just over 30 years, originally formed back in 1994 as a recording studio here in London. We still operate in London in our physical campus, but today's really about our online school. Since we started off as a recording studio and then transitioned into becoming a school, we've been very fortunate to have won many awards and accolades over the years. Most recently, a TEF Gold Award for Teaching Excellence, multiple awards through the What Uni Student Choice Awards, and we are now accredited by Middlesex University, offering higher education courses as well as professional courses. And I'll talk to you about all of those very shortly. We've got a global student community, as you've already seen with everyone logging in, but we have campuses around the world as well, with one in Los Angeles, one in Ibiza, here in London, and the online school. It's a very student-centered approach when you come and study with us. So it's about helping you achieve your career goals, learning everything you need to on the course, but also allowing you then to apply that once you've finished your studies and into the real world in whichever career you may choose to pursue. So that's a little bit about us and how it all started for Point Blank. Moving on from that, I wanted to let you know a little bit about our industry partnerships. So it's really important for us to link up with the main players in the music industry, whether they provide us with software or hardware for our studios here in London, or hardware that you might be using at home to make music, something like a computer or a little sound card or a MIDI controller. This is all equipment that we partnered with, so companies like Ableton, Focusrite, Pioneer DJ, Native Instruments, Waves, Kit Out, and provide us with all the software for the courses. So we want you working with the same equipment that people are going to be working with in the music industry, and that you're going to be working with professionally when you graduate and finish your course too as well. Moving on, let's look a little bit at our degree courses. So I mentioned that these are validated by Middlesex University. We offer a course in music production and sound engineering, and that's a Bachelor of Arts honours degree. which is a 3-year degree, or we have a Cert HE, which is equivalent to the first year of that same 3-year degree. So there's 1-year option or a 3-year option. We have 2 enrollments each year. These will be in April, so we actually have an enrollment starting on Monday. Applications have closed for that, but applications are still open, my bad. So if you do want to start in April, get your application in right now. And we should have enough time to get you going next week. If not, maybe the week after. You'll have plenty of time to catch up. If not, we have a start date in September, which tends to be the more kind of traditional start dates. So get your application in. Our admissions team will be delighted to consider your application, and we look forward to considering you for a place on the course. The majority of the courses, however, that we do deliver online are what we call our short courses. And so these range also from music production and sound engineering, but we also offer DJ courses as well as music business courses. So there's a whole variety of different programs available to you, from 3-month courses up to 6-month courses, up to courses lasting 18 months or a year and a half. There are enrollments every 3 months. So they are in January, April, July, and in September. Our next start date is the 14th of April. That's going to be this coming Monday. We still have availability for all of our online short courses. So if you want to join us straight away, if you love what you see today at the open day, and you can't wait to get started on your musical journey, then enroll today. You can save 20% with a discount code online20%. It's on the screen. Make a note of it, and then get online on your preferred course, pop in that discount code, make your saving, and get started with us on Monday. If you do have any questions though, however, get those in the chat room. I know that a few of you have already asked questions. In fact, one of them is from Johnny S, who says, what start dates are for the online degree? Hopefully, Johnny, I've covered that in this little segment, but just to remind you, it's April, we can still get you going, or it's going to be in September. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Johnny. Moving on from that, a question we get asked a lot is about study modes, timetables. How does it all work? So when studying with us online, we offer full-time or part-time options. For full-time courses, you're going to be studying 2 modules each term. For part-time modules, you're going to be studying 1 module each term. For 1 module, we typically recommend 10 hours of study per week. So if you're doing it full-time, you're doing 2 modules, we're doubling the workload, 20 hours per week of study time. Study time is typically what we recommend. However, one of the things about studying online is that it's super flexible. We've already seen people logging in from all over the world, and that allows you to study from anywhere in the world, study at any time, wherever you might be in the world, and log on and go through all the content and materials when it suits you. So it's super flexible. You can go through, your masterclasses and rewatch them whenever you want. And you can also arrange your one-to-one sessions with your lecturers at a time that is convenient for you based on the availability they give you. So hopefully that helps answer those questions. But again, any questions, pop those in the chat room. We're here to answer those today. Now, a very common question we get is about fees and funding. Are there loans available for the courses? How can I pay for the courses? So if you're looking at studying one of our degree level programs, then you will be able to apply for a tuition loan if you are a UK-based student. So you are from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, or Wales. However, if you are an international student, we do offer instalment plans to help you pay those course fees. For our short courses, however, whether you're in the United Kingdom or anywhere else in the world, we would only be able to offer termly or monthly instalment plans. So you would need to pay for those fees privately. Again, any questions about fees, funding, anything like that, then do let us know in the chat room below. So let's look a little bit about how these courses work. I've got a video I want to share with you very shortly, which goes into a bit more detail. But essentially, each week, you're going to have a 2-hour live masterclass. That's like a classroom environment with your teacher. John will know about this because he delivers them himself, where your teacher, like John, will go through the curriculum and the syllabus and will be demonstrating production techniques and essentially answering your questions and engaging with you through this live masterclass session. So that's a live 2-hour session each week. On top of that, you've got access to extensive course notes and audio examples. So there's loads of materials available to you to help you with your learning. There are one-to-one sessions as well as additional one-on-one studio lab time with our technicians. There's downloadable projects, there's assignments, there's coursework, there's exercises, as well as a forum, excuse me, and a chat room that you can engage with your fellow classmates and with your teacher. So let me show you this video which goes into a bit more detail about that, and I'll see you in a minute.
Well, the masterclasses are our chance to go about the material. It's like being in a class together, you know, and it's pretty cool because a lot of people become friends over in the chat room, and then they start collaborating and making music. In all effects, it's like being in a class all together. So I would like to know, you guys in the chat room, where you guys are from. So let me check. Greece, Jersey Channel. All right, so okay, same time here. Romania, but based in Copenhagen. Very beautiful. I love Copenhagen very much. Normally they happen at the same day, at the same time every week, so it's very easy for students to organize. What they do is they just connect onto the Point Blank VLE. They see me, they see my screen. I chat to them so everyone can also see them and we can have a discussion. The advantage is that everything gets recorded, so students can go back and refer to material over and over again, can watch more videos. There is a lot of exercises, and it can all be done at whatever pace the student wants, so they can all approach it in different ways.
On certain set weeks throughout your module, you'll be able to have a live one-to-one Zoom call with your lecturer. This is a great opportunity for you to ask questions about your assignments, any help you need regarding exercises, or anything regarding the course content. The week before the one-to-one tutorial is set to take place, your lecturer will give you a set of time slots, which you can find here. You can find a time slot that suits you best and confirm your booking. In order to get your certificate of completion, you'll need to attend a minimum of 3 out of 5 one-to-one sessions with your lecturer. Your lecturer will provide you an exercise you need to complete 1 week before your scheduled one-to-one. If you'd like your lecturer to give you help on a specific project, you'd need to zip it up and upload it here. When it's time for your one-to-one, you'll need to go back to the one-to-one tutorial page of your selected module. There you'll find a button that says Join Zoom Session. Click this to join your tutorial. Alternatively, you can also join it from the one-to-one booking page by clicking the blue Zoom icon. Let's look at an example of a one-to-one with our lecturer, John Watson.
I'm not sure if you've used this before. So this is a notch band. And what this will do is you don't have control of the gain, because it simply cuts out completely, and the cue determines how wide that cut is.
Feel free to ask the lecturers any questions that you might have during this one-to-one tutorial. This is your chance to tap the brains of our expert lecturers and tailor the course to your needs.
Cool. So there you have it. Hopefully that gave you a bit more insight into how we engage you on the courses, and how you can expect the teaching from our expert lecturers, like John here, will be, and what you can expect to learn on the courses. Now moving forward, something really important I wanted to talk with you about, and that's what we like to call the Point Blank ecosystem. So think of Point Blank as kind of like a mini music industry within, you know, our environment, where you can start networking and collaborating and meeting people and sharing your ideas and start kind of getting access to opportunities. So that's you in the middle, and when you're a student of ours, you have access to a whole network of students that study at Point Blank online, or maybe here in London, or maybe you know, in LA or Ibiza, and you can collaborate with those students. Collaboration is key in the music industry. In fact, we were just talking about it earlier on. Lots of artists, you know, will feature on other artists' records and vice versa. And it's through those collaborative efforts that opportunities arise, and you might get involved in more work thereafter. So really try and network as much as possible with other students on the course and through our whole network of other students that you would have access to. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how we engage you into careers and into opportunities. And a good way of doing that is to kind of look at the music industry as a whole. Obviously, it's a global industry. We've already seen that today with everyone logging in from all over the world. It's an industry worth nearly $30 billion. So a big, big industry. In the United Kingdom, we're looking at pushing nearly £7 billion alone. The United Kingdom being the third biggest music market in the world behind the USA and Japan. We are a global community of music producers, of artists, of music business professionals, DJs, vocalists, with 4 campuses around the world, over 50,000 plus students and alumni. And I think we're actually pushing nearly 3 million followers through all of our social channels at the moment. And we help you reach that audience, and that can be your ticket and your way into the music industry. We want to help you get your foot in the door, essentially, and connect you to industry opportunities, to jobs, work experience, internships, and help you get your head start and get off to the best possible start in your careers. So we do a lot of virtual drop-in sessions. We do one-on-one sessions. We'll do CV writing clinics and application clinics and interview tips to help you get that job. And as I said, that could be a full-time job. It could be a work experience opportunity. You know, that one opportunity that helps propel you and into more work thereafter. It could be internships, for instance. Many of our students have gone on to work for some of these brands and companies that you see up on the screen right now. And we'll help connect you to those partners when you come and study with us too. We offer some networking opportunities as well. So we try and connect you constantly to the industry through listening sessions, through student showcases, masterclasses with industry experts, with music producers, with record label owners, event organizers, essentially events that will try and engage you into understanding what it takes to make it in the music industry and help you and hopefully inspire you to go on and do the same. At Point Blank, we do loads of events. We do showcases, and this is an opportunity for you to start performing, start playing out, or get involved in the organization of these sorts of events. There's loads of stuff happening online all the time. So get stuck in, get involved. It's a great way of learning and meeting people, of experimenting and trying new things. And it's through that sort of exploration that we grow and we start getting access to bigger and better opportunities. I also want to talk to you about our A&R mentoring scheme with Kwame, this chap on the screen right here. He's been in the music industry a long time and he's worked with some pretty influential characters. If you don't recognize any of those people there, then maybe you're watching the wrong open day. But he is here to help you essentially and guide you into your hope for your career in the music industry. So he's going to listen to your work. He's going to look at you as a brand, as an identity, and help mold you and sculpt you into what you need to be in order to get access to opportunities. So definitely get a session in with Kwame. And last but not least, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our in-house record label. This is Point Blank Recordings, and we're always on the lookout for fresh Point Blank talent to sign to the label. So we'll help and develop and promote you through artist and repertoire and development, through marketing and publishing, and connecting you to industry legends. So people like Kathy Sledge, Kim Marzell, and Ultranate, who are just some of the artists, excuse me, have worked with our students. So get stuck in, send in your demos. We'd love to hear them, and you never know. You might be working with an industry legend in the future, and having your music heard by the world all over. Next up, before we meet John and find out a bit more about him, I know he's been waiting very patiently, not saying much, but you'll hear him talk a bit more in a minute. I just wanted to share with you some testimonials, what previous students of ours have thought about their experience at Point Blank. We think it's great for you to hear from them. So check this out, and then we'll move on to meeting John in the masterclass.
Hi guys, this is Smokey. I'm a singer, songwriter, future music producer, Currently studying the online Search HE program at Point Blank on music production and sound engineering, and I'm absolutely loving it. I particularly like the virtual learning environment a lot because I can take my course whatever time suits me best. Plus, since it's all on video, I can always go back, rewatch something if I miss some information, which is very useful. So I feel like Point Blank is really helping me stay focused, structure my career better, and just be more creative in general. So thank you guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Boylatad. I'm a music producer and aspiring sound engineer. I'm taking the BA Honors Music Production and Sound Engineering degree at Point Blank Music School online. I've had an amazing experience studying with Point Blank. I love the way the lessons are taught, especially when using the VLE. It's very intuitive and the modules are well organized. I get to have plenty of one-to-one sessions and master classes with my teachers where I can get personal attention and really hone my skills to the professional level.
It's the big dog Sheldon Curl, and I'm enrolled up in the Master Diploma program at Point Blank Music School online. And what I like about Point Blank Music School is everything is practical to today's music. All the hits, the music theory, everything that we study, everything that we go through, everything we learn how to program, everything is relevant to today's music. And that what makes Point Blank so awesome. Have a good one.
Nice one. So just a few testimonials, just some thoughts about what our previous students have experienced here at Point Blank. Hopefully you found that useful. Now, John.
Me.
It's you. It's your turn. Talk to me. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell our attendees here a little bit about yourself. Let's, how did it all get started for you in terms of, well, actually, what do you do here? Let's start with that.
So about, I think it was 8 years ago now, I started teaching music composition here at Point Blank. I've taught quite a few different modules, taught mixing, advanced composition, songwriting, can't remember what else, there's one more else. But yeah, music composition is what I mainly teach here at Point Blank.
Cool. And so how did you get started in music? What was it? What was the catalyst that made you think, this is my life, this is what I want to do?
I played in bands in my teens and realised that there was such thing as a music producer who then sat in front of a computer and did cool stuff with electronic noises, studied composition at university and yeah, just really caught a bug for making and developing ideas, both with live musicians and with electronic music. And then once I graduated, I worked for a few years, basically as a producer, songwriter, trying to find as many up and coming artists as I could to do sessions with in the hope that someone made it. And someone did make it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up producing their album and touring with their band, running their band for about 2 years. Unfortunately, that artist then got dropped before they got to release their
all too common in the music industry, sadly.
It happens, but you know, the more opportunities you take, the more chance you have of one of those leading to that, you know, that elusive swimming pool in my Hollywood Hills mansion, which is just around the corner, I'm sure.
You'd have to invite me to the housewarming party.
Yeah, gluten-free nibbles for galore.
Nice one. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, you know, a typical Point Blank student, where they might sort of come in and once they finish the course, you know, where might they be in terms of, you know, how will their level increase, you know, what kind of work will they be producing and outputting through coming and studying with us?
I'm kind of nodding, but it's almost an impossible question to answer, to be honest, because even if I just take the module that I teach the most, so music composition, which happens at the beginning of a lot of students' Point Blank journey, I might have a one-to-one with a student who's maybe played guitar for a few years but never really made a track in Logic or Ableton, and then my next one-to-one will be with a student who has who is DJing in Ibiza in 4 hours time, or who's already been releasing music but they want to just hone their craft a little bit. So one of the things that I really like about this job is there's so much variation. There's always such a varied class, and I guess that keeps me on my toes. It means that I'm not just kind of peddling the same thing at one specific level. I'm teaching some basic approaches and also some advanced techniques that students who have been producing and composing for years might find useful. So yeah, it's really hard to say, but I suppose for my average student, I want to work with them to really establish what it is they want to develop, and then spend the next 10 weeks that I'm working with that student on working out how they can go from here to there in a 10-week.
So quite a tailored approach as well.
That's the beauty of these one-to-one tutorials, which are a big bulk of the course. Yes, I like to think that I show all my students really cool things in the masterclasses, but actually the one-to-one tutorials is where a student can tell me where they're at, and then I can basically, we can either have a chat to work out what your goals are, or I can almost create a mini bespoke masterclass that tells you, the student, exactly what it is you want to know based on where those gaps are in your knowledge.
Awesome. Well, you've got a masterclass for us shortly.
I do indeed.
Where I guess you'll be going through kind of some of the stuff that you might learn on the course.
Yeah,
techniques that you share with our students.
Definitely.
One more question for you.
Yes.
What advice would you give to our attendees today?
Yeah.
About coming and studying with us and about the music industry, advice you wish you'd received.
Yes, yeah.
You know, when you were maybe in their shoes.
Okay, the piece of advice that I wish someone had told me, and I could have saved myself so many hours of heartache and frustration, is it's not about quality, it's about quantity, which sounds really weird, but basically, if you try and make as much music as possible, then every single time you make a track, you'll learn a load. And if you make 50 tracks in a year, then you'll learn 50 times. If you spend, 3 or 4 or 6, or in my case, 10 years trying to perfect a track, I've made more than one track. But like, I have spent years on some tracks, banging my head against a wall, and you think the way to make really good, really fast progress is to make one thing really well, but actually my advice is to just churn through as much music as you can and learn from your mistakes.
And if you make 100 tracks, maybe one of them, it turns out being a total banger that
totally
get some traction.
And if you mess one up, doesn't matter, just do another one. The other piece of advice though that I was fortunate to be given, a good friend of mine who's now head of a big record label, said that the advice he was given was get to know your generation. It's not about trying to hustle business cards for big CEOs of record labels. It's about getting to know the people around you. And I really bring this up because I think the students who I see going on to be really successful are the students who are doing impromptu writing sessions with people in their class. They're getting to know as many people as possible because those are the sorts of people who might call you up and being like, yo, I need someone to collaborate on a new remix. And then there's your in. So, yeah.
Definitely. It's something, always network laterally amongst your peers. Because that CEO of a record label will probably be retired in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And your mate that you were in class with might be that CEO in that record label.
Right. Well, the guy who gave me that advice, he was just my mate. I mean, now he is literally the head of A&R at a big label.
There you go. Pretty good contact to have, I bet.
Exceptionally, yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're going to move on to John's masterclass. Before we do, just a reminder, I noticed that there's loads of questions that have already come through. Get your questions in the chat room. We'll be answering those straight after the masterclass. It's your opportunity to have your questions answered. So yeah, John, what have you got in store for us today? What pearls of wisdom, music production, knowledge?
What I wanted to do is I sort of pinched a few little tips and tricks that I deliver over the course of my music composition, and maybe one or two from the advanced composition courses, that basically show you how to make a quick chord progression, and how part two is how to take a boring chord progression and make it really interesting. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today.
Awesome.
So what I've done, and we've only got a short time here today, so I can't explain all of the music theory that's going on. But basically, what I've got here is a little cheat sheet that I give some of my my music composition students. And basically, what I've done here, if I select these 7 regions, I have here all of the chords in the C major scale. Basically, I've pre-programmed 7 colors. So if I don't, I can play this MIDI keyboard and I can play piano, but I wanted to show you a way of creating chord progressions if you're not fluent on piano or even know exactly which notes go in which scale. So what's going on? I've got chord 1, chord 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so when I choose a key, like or a scale like C major, it gives me these 7 colors to choose from. So now I've got this template. Oh, and by the way, I did also add, in addition to this chord here, I added a little bass note to make that chord feel a little bit more grounded, along with a couple of options for bass notes that I might find useful later on. So the first thing to do is to create my chord progression, and I haven't really pre-planned this. I'm showing you this on the fly. The only thing I know is that whilst I was cycling here 2 hours ago, I started hearing a little chord progression in my head, and it started on chord number 4. So I have these 7 different chords, and I'm going to make a chord progression like so. I'm going to drag 4 there. I have also created this nice kind of synth string synthesizer patch, just using one of Logic's stock synths. So I'm going to start with chord 4, and then actually I might even just, I'll just drag that in so I can see which chords I've used and which ones I haven't. 4, 5, then maybe 3, and then maybe 6. So let's now mute those. I might use these 3 other chords at some other point, but let's see how that sounds. So far, so good. So I have now a 4-chord progression. I might see if I can just add one of these other colors in. Maybe if I do this sort of thing. I'm just going to shorten this chord here because I reckon I can slip that chord number 2 in between. Yeah, cool. I think it also needs another passing chord here. So I could use this one here, but I kind of know from experience that that one's not really going to cut the mustard, and I think it needs chord number 5 there. You can see I've set this up deliberately to allow myself and you, if you use this method, to just have a little play around. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. The one thing about this is it's a little bit, what's the word? Ploddy? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, it doesn't really have much pizzazz. So I'm going to play around with the rhythms of these chords. Do, 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 do. So maybe I might decide to make this chord a little bit shorter and this chord a little bit longer. I'm using a keyboard shortcut, by the way. If you're a Logic user, and you hold on Option whilst dragging, then it stretches whatever's inside that region. And if you're an Ableton user, well, I can tell you how to do that in Ableton another time. Yeah, it's still a little bit kind of ploddy, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just 2, 3, 4. that, two. How about 1 and 2 and 3 and 4? I'm going to use a technique known as syncopation, which is simply when you put a strong rhythmic accent in an unexpected place. Let's see what that sounds like. And I'm going to do a similar thing there. I'm literally just kind of doing this via trial and error. I suppose when you've made, I don't even know how many pieces of music I've made, probably thousands, you might know what works, but if you've never made music before, you literally just do something and see if it sounds good. I think I'm going to put this there and this. I'm not going to perfect it, so if this sounds rubbish, we'll just have to use our imagination, but hopefully it won't sound too bad. And if I had more time, I'd probably add a little passing chord at the end there, but that I think will do for now. So I'm now going to say, thanks very much, Logic. I'd like to join those individual chords up, and I now have myself a nice 4-bar chord progression. And you can see, maybe if I press this button to show all the notes that I am and I'm not using, you can see this is what it looks like on Logic's piano roll. And that might be fine. And I might then decide, cool, I'm going to, let's just get rid of this track, shall we? Don't need it anymore. I'm going to loop that. Which would be fine, but the problem when you loop something is it might sound really good the first time, and then, yeah, it still sounds all right, right? You know, you getting bored yet? By the time you've heard this like 8 times, it just gets less and less interesting. So this technique that I want to show you now is a way that you can take a repeating chord progression and make it slightly different each time, so it's always interesting. And yeah, my students have told me that this is one of the most useful things that I taught them. So I'm going to copy this chord progression. I might even copy it, we might not get to the end of bar 32, but I've copied and pasted that 8 times to give myself really quite a long chord progression. And now, what I'm going to do is give this a little bit of a makeover, or my partner told me I should call this a chord glow up. Yeah, let's make these chords glow up. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to have a little play around with what's called the voicing. And that simply means how high or low pitched these chords are. Now, I have 3 notes in this chord, and then 3 notes in the second chord. And let's, for example, take this, this second chord. Now, at the moment, the top note is D. But using a keyboard shortcut, Shift, Option, down arrow, I can what's called transpose that note up or down an octave. And by the way, if you're an Ableton user, it's Shift up arrow or down arrow to do the same keyboard shortcut. So yeah, I can take any note and just by eye, like you don't really need to know any music theory to do this, just basically change the pitch so it goes down instead of what it did before, which was going up. And why might you want to do that? Well, you might not want to do that, but one thing that I usually like to do is try to make quite smooth chord progressions. And when the chords are jumping around, as they are a little bit here, it doesn't always bring out the emotion and the character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this original chord progression, here it is one more time. And if I just, by eye, I take the highest notes and transpose them down an octave, it sounds now like this. quite different, yeah. And there's all sorts of different rules and approaches, but actually, when you're playing around with voicings, as long as you have the right notes to begin with, you can do a lot of it by eye. I'll show you another interesting way that you can change the voicing of these chords. If I select the middle notes of these chords, of each of these 3 chords, oh, sugar, that's not the middle note, there's the middle note. So before, pretty cool. If I transpose the middle note up an octave, then it's going to create much more space between the different notes, and it's just going to sound, well, let's see how it sounds. It might sound better, might sound worse. Yeah, I feel like that's not where I want to start this chord progression, so I'm going to transpose those back down. And you know what? This note's bugging me. I'm just going to transpose that back up where it was. Nah, I preferred it better before. I'm literally just going to have a play and play around, trial and error until something... Oh yeah. Okay, now we're talking. So what I like about this is that it started going up and then it kind of teased you and came back down again. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take that chord progression and I'm going to copy it and do something slightly different the next time. So I might actually do exactly the same thing apart from that very end. First time goes down. Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's just starting to build a little bit of energy. Let's copy it again and let's see where this wants to go. Now, I'm really just doing this by eye and then listening afterwards, although I haven't really got time today to listen afterwards. So I'm just gonna basically have a play. I'm going to do that again. So we've got now 4 iterations of that progression, and I'm just taking the lowest notes, shift, option, up arrow, to really take them on a nice sort of sense of journey. And then I think I might here, because we're getting quite high by this point, I might use that technique I showed you earlier. I might maybe take the middle note and transpose that maybe down an octave. Let's see how we're sounding now. Yeah? Okay, that's sounding pretty nice. What I want to do is try and maybe get back to where we started. Let's see if I can do that. It's kind of like a puzzle. So I might now take the top note, transpose that down. Okay, it's a bit too high, sorry, a bit too low to start with. Maybe if I transpose that down and then there. Yeah, and now this last chord hopefully should flow quite nicely into the first one. And so my goal here was to basically create a sense of going somewhere, a sense of progression from a 4-bar loop. Let's see if I've managed to do that. So there you go. There you have it. You know how to. It's quite subtle, but the difference between that and the same old 4 bars again and again and again and again, it can really, really make a huge impact in a pop song. Music for film and TV does this the whole time. And yeah, it can also just be quite a fun and sort of creative approach to just see if you can get some more variation out of the same old boring 4 chords. And you guys might have also noticed I was doing a similar thing with the bass line, just doing it by eye, just trying some different combinations just to keep you, the listener, on your toes. And that's probably about all I've got time for today, but hope that was cool.
Stuff. There you go, a little trade secret there for you.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully that's going to help you expand your musical compositions and take your ideas to the next level.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, John.
You're very welcome.
Really
Pleasure.
appreciate you coming in and sharing that with us all. So whilst we're watching the masterclass and also throughout today's open day, loads of you have been getting questions into the chat room. So it's time for us to answer those. John's going to help me. We're going to start off with one from Jack, who says, is the online diploma accredited, and do you receive a physical certificate for completing the course? So Jack, the online diploma, the short course online diploma, is not accredited. Only our Bachelor of Arts Honours degree or the Cert HE in Music Production Sound Engineering are accredited. They would offer an academic qualification. However, if you do study the short courses, you do get a certificate. It's usually a digital one, I think, that you download, but we can send you one out. So we can give you a physical copy of a certificate. Next up, there's one here from Johnny. Says, can you start an online course for a year and then transfer to London for year 2 and year 3? So I assume, Johnny, you're referring to our degree course. The answer is yes, you can. So you could start the Cert HE, basically, in music production and sound engineering online. And based on you successfully completing that, getting good grades, you can transfer those credits over to year 2 and year 3 to continue with the full BA degree with us here in London. So that is possible. Definitely get your application in, and then once you finish that first year, get in touch with the assessments team and myself and my team, and we can get you set up for the next 2 years of the course.
And vice versa, I believe.
And vice versa, yeah, good point, absolutely.
I had some students who, due to having to go back home during the pandemic, were like, what about my degree? And they ended up transferring to the online school.
Yeah, or, think circumstances can change and, something out of your control happens and you got to go home, but you can still continue your studies.
Yeah.
So absolutely, you could do it the other way around as well. We got a question here from Sarah, who says, I'm really interested in the music production and DJ course you offer. Could you recommend any similar online courses for international students who can't attend in person? So Sarah, absolutely. We're probably looking at combining 2 different courses together. So you might want to consider our music production diploma or certificate online. And with that, you can study our DJ skills course, essentially combining the best of both worlds. And you can do all of that in an online format, basically. So it quite closely replicates that course that we have in London. So yeah, we've got a start date on Monday. Remember, you can save 20% as well if you use that code online 20%. And that's for any start date as well, not just for this April, but even if you want to start in July or in October. Next up, there's a question here from Mario. Can I use any DAW of my choice for the sound design course? And for the same course, sound design, how will I access all the soft synths and plugins I need for the course? Do I need to buy them or are they provided? You don't teach sound design?
I haven't taught sound design, well, not here anyway, no.
But I think, do you have students ever use different DAWs? Does that ever happen? Or?
So we say that you can either use Logic or Ableton. And if you're using Logic or Ableton, that guarantees that any lecturer, like myself, is going to be able to open your projects, share their screen on Zoom, open your projects to market. Now, I have had many students who either use different DAWs or some students who are singer-songwriters, they like to perform on guitar or keyboards, and you can still send actual music to your lecturer, but yeah, if you're using FL, for example, then you can't necessarily guarantee that your lecturer will be able to open your projects. Which isn't to say that all of the composition or sound design approaches, I mean, most of the DAWs do a very similar thing. So the approaches will still be the same. You can still send music clips to your lecturers, but for the formal assessment, yeah, we only mark Logic or Ableton projects. And don't quote me, because I haven't taught sound design here, but as far as I'm aware, other than advanced sound design, which I believe still uses Reactor. Correct me if I'm...
So I think we do build some synths in Reactor, but otherwise we try and essentially keep it in the box.
Exactly, yeah. So when you've got Logic or Ableton, both of those DAWs come with a plethora of synths, and certainly I try and use only stock Logic or Ableton plugins to do all my demos. And yeah, I mean, sure, there are great synthesizers out there if you've got a credit card with an unlimited cap, but actually you can do pretty much anything on pretty much all our modules just using Logic or Ableton.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's about the theory that you're learning that you can apply then to any software synthesizer. If you're learning frequency modulation, you know, you can then apply that theory onto all synths, FM synths basically, whether you're using a digital synth, different brands, or even a hardware synthesizer as well. You know, it's that same knowledge that you're applying to it all. So yeah, hopefully that helps, Mario. Next up, we got one here from Messi. Is it a good idea to start with a short course and then go big later on? Yeah, it's a good idea, definitely, particularly if you're testing out the waters, you know, and you want to start a bit smaller, see how you get on with the course and see if it's for you. And you know, if you do love it and you want to learn more and take it a lot further, then we have loads of other courses that will, you know, get you from, you know, your first ideas right up to being able to produce professional quality sounding music. And we've got everything from music production to mastering, the whole production process from A to Z basically covered. So most definitely I'd recommend that, and get in touch when you want to do more courses. Finally, we've got one here from Mark, who says, I did a short online electronic music course in Logic several years ago, but stopped making music and would like to start again. Good stuff, Mark. But I'm not sure which course to do. Which would you recommend? Music production Logic, Logic Pro in depth, or electronic music production in depth? So, what's interesting about all three of those courses is that they all feature the music production Logic course. So you're going to be studying that module anyway, regardless of the course you do. Similar to Messi, you could start with just that course, see how you get on, and then you can add the next course thereafter. We then otherwise look at creative audio, which is the second module with Logic Pro, bless you. And we then otherwise look at, I think it's electronic music production for the electronic music production in-depth course. So, you know, they're slightly different techniques-wise. The creative audio course is going to be looking a bit more at sort of recording audio and working with audio in a kind of a sound engineering context, but obviously without having a big recording studio and, you know, lots of expensive equipment to record everyone. Whereas the electronic music production module is going to be focused much more on techniques within your DAW and, you know, helping you create better sounding music. So I'd probably recommend starting with the Logic Pro course, have a chat with your teacher on the course, and then they can help and guide you as to which direction you might want to then take your next step. And you can get in touch with us when you're ready to take that next course as well. Awesome stuff. Well, listen, I think that's all the questions we have for today. And that's in fact all the time we have for today.
Bang on.
So bang on 1 hour. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We hope you found this open day informative and useful, and that it's helped answer your questions about whether Point Blank is the place for you to come and study. Just a couple of reminders before we do let you go. If you are looking to apply for one of our degree programs, remember we still are accepting just the final few applications for this April. So get your skates on and get that application into us ASAP. Ideally, first thing tomorrow morning, so our admissions team can review that, and we can hopefully look to get you started on Monday. We are otherwise accepting applications for October, so get your application in for that as well. If you do have any questions about that, get in touch with us. We're here to help. For our short courses, remember we're offering a 20% discount. That code is online 20%, and that's for courses starting this Monday, April 14th, or otherwise in July or October this year. So make sure you make that saving, apply that discount code, and we look forward to seeing you on the course on Monday. One last thing I'd like to leave you with before you go and sign up for that course is a quick video I'd like to share with you, just highlighting our alumni over the years. As a music school, there's only one way that we want to be judged, and that's through our successes. And our ultimate goal at Point Blank is to help our students become successful. If you become successful, that means we are successful at what we've done here at Point Blank. And we've helped many students go on and achieve great success in the music industry over the 30 years that we've been around. So take a look at this video. We hope to see you on a course very soon. It's a big thank you to John for helping me out today, and a big thank you to all of you for attending this evening. We'll see you very soon. All the best. Take care and good night.
Bye.
Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you.
Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round. Everybody feel it come around with round.
Oh yeah! Everybody in the bump. Everybody in the bump. Everybody in the bump. Everybody in the bump.
Everybody in the bump.